All right, Shalom Israel. You on live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War coming to y'all with Wednesday night's biblical law class. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes here in Memphis, Tennessee. Teach so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans descended from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In 2020, is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that's contained in the Bible is definitely important for so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians to receive, because we are living in very, very dark times, and the Bible is the only light that is going to be able to guide us through these troublesome times that we're living in. So we have these classes 3 nights out of the week to give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into the Bible, to read and understand context for themselves and how to apply it in their lives. What you're going to experience here in the ISUPK is not like what you've experienced in your churches, in your mosques, or in any of your established religious institutions or gatherings. What we do here in the ISUPK is we go into the Bible and read it for ourselves, get some understanding of what it is that's being said, the context, and then we understand how to apply it to our lives. The revolutionary thing that we are doing in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is teaching God's people to not only read the Bible and understand the good words and, you know, feel good about what's being said, but we're teaching brothers and sisters to apply it to their lives and to actually embody what it is that these scriptures, that these words in this book are calling for us to be. And so in 2020, it's a great honor and a privilege to be able to sit in this seat and to be able to teach these classes week in and week out to help my brothers and sisters and myself to be able to grow closer to the Lord, all right? Every Wednesday is biblical law class. Tuesday is brotherhood. Yesterday was a good brotherhood class. The topic of the class was the topic of yesterday's class, y'all. Living with fear. You understand? The Bible says that fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You understand? The beginning of knowledge. We went into that yesterday. It was a really good class. Y'all go check it out. It's archived on Facebook, archived on YouTube. The title of tonight's class is When Are We Going to Grow Up? We'll get into that, into the topic in a little bit. And tomorrow is going to be a scripture breakdown class. Haven't decided if I'm going to teach the class or if I'm going to, do the live stream that's being broadcast from New York with 12 Shield General Muhammad teaching the class. But like I said, these classes are definitely important and necessary in order for us to be able to find out what it is that God expects and wants from us during these times that we're living in. We're living in a time on the earth that is really unlike any other that has been before, where you have so many different, aspects of society and life converging towards one single point. You understand? And for those brothers and sisters who have been lost in the world and who've seen all the things that's transpiring and really struggling with what it means for them, for their lives and for their families, I thank the Most High that we have the truth now in this time to be able to give brothers and sisters the peace and the direction and the guidance that they need. All right. So tonight's class, When Are We Going to Grow Up, is going to be about, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, right? And what I don't want to do is just do the normal Thanksgiving breakdown. You go any UPK channel, any UPK class, for the next few days and hear all about the evil of Thanksgiving and how it's dishonorable to the Native Indians, and they give the history of, what the celebration is about. And it's important that we understand that, right? But we have to understand that Black people in the world who celebrate Thanksgiving aren't celebrating Thanksgiving to dishonor Native Indians. Brothers and sisters who are celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, who will sit with their family and hold hands and say grace and eat turkey and cranberry sauce and stuff, and then all the macaroni and cheese and whatever else, they're not doing it because, they're relishing the white man's victory over the Native Indian. You understand? And it's celebrating Thanksgiving is like a lot of the things that we do as a people here in America, following traditions, and it really just has to do with immaturity. It has to do with immaturity, childishness, and just, enjoying whatever has been put before you as being a part of life. You understand? And I thank the Most High for the scriptures and for the understanding that the Most High has given us, and that life is not about tradition. Life is not about doing the things that you were taught to do growing up just because you were taught to do them. God requires maturity. God, to serve the Lord requires, for you to think about the things you're doing and why you're doing them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful to the Most High that in 2020, he saw fit for me to be a brother who thinks about the things that I'm doing in my life, thinks about why I'm living my life the way I'm living it. I can remember 10 years ago when I first came into the truth, when I started to understand these laws, when I started to understand the instructions that God gave us and the way he told us to live, I began to, reflect on my life and think of different situations and circumstances I found myself in, and how I could have avoided those situations and circumstances if I only knew about God's laws. I can remember looking back on my life and thinking about horrible things that happened to me and saying to myself, damn, I would not have ever gone through that if I knew these laws. I would never have found myself in that dark place if I knew to obey God. I would never have would never been wondering why I was battling with depression and why I was, such an evil cat to people I called my friends, and why I did some of the grimy things I did. But when I came into the truth, I was able to understand by God's law that this is the way that I was the way I was. This is why I did the things that I did. And coming into the truth made me say, I want to be bigger than that. I want my life to be about more than that. I want to, I don't want to be a petty person. I don't want to be somebody who has to hide how I'm living. I don't want to be a cat that got secrets and skeletons in my closet. I want to be somebody who can live free. I want to be able to have a clear conscience about the things that I'm doing with my life. And that's the gift that God has made available to us with these scriptures. But in order for you to become that kind of person, you got to be mature about how you live your life. You got to be, serious about how you live your life. Serving the Lord is the most, grown up thing a person could do. And people who refuse to serve the Lord, they just don't want to grow up. It's like that company that was around years ago called Toys R Us. Kids today don't know nothing about Toys R Us. That's crazy. Kids today have no idea what Toys R Us was. You know what I'm saying? Toys R Us was a store you could go to. It is nothing but toys. Walmart that came through and put Toys R Us out of business. You understand? Target came through, put Toys R Us out of business. Toys R Us was a place you would go if you was a kid, and you could go find all the toys that you could imagine, all the toys you could think of. And they had a commercial used to come on with some goofy giraffe dressed up, and this song was, I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. You understand? Well, that is the mentality that a lot of our people have in America. They don't want to not celebrate Thanksgiving because it requires them to grow up. They don't want to give up celebrating Christmas because it requires them to, find out what Christmas is really all about. And for those of us who came into the truth and had families who we were close with, families that we used to gather with for Thanksgiving and gather with for Christmas and gather with for these different holidays, when you come into the truth, it's hard on your family because you finding out the truth and finding out. I remember when I found out Christmas was in the Bible and God was against the cutting down the trees and decorating them. I just knew when I took this information to my family and my loved ones and people who I cared about, that they would read it and say, "Damn, man, that's heavy, man. Well, yeah, I'm throwing away the Christmas tree." But I took it to them and they looked at me like I was crazy, looked at me like I was retarded. When I found out the truth about Thanksgiving and I told my friends about it and how I wasn't going to do it no more, they looked at me like I was crazy and said, "Man, why you going to deny yourself turkey? Why would you deny gravy and mashed potatoes and getting together with your family?" And it took me some time to understand that the Lord prepared me to grow up. And there are a lot of people who he has not prepared to grow up. And that is the reason why they are going to celebrate Thanksgiving. That is the reason why they're going to celebrate Christmas and they're going to go party on New Year's Eve because they don't want to take life seriously. Now, I think the Most High that He's decided that my life had to be serious. I think the Most High that He decided that I was going to have to grow up and see the world for what it really was, and not hide behind the illusions and the lies that we were told by our slave masters. You understand? So tonight's class is going to be about growing up. It's going to be about maturing. It's going to be about, you know, showing brothers and sisters what that the Lord requires for you to grow up. You cannot remain a child and serve the Lord. You cannot stay, you know, not understanding and not knowing and not being able to, you know, express why you do what you do if you want to serve the Lord. Now, if you want to be a child, children, you know, are the ones who don't know why they did what they did. You catch a child doing something, you say, "Why you do that?" They say, "I don't know." That's a response that a child would give. And what do you do as a parent or as an adult when a child tells you that they don't know? You don't accept, "I don't know." You don't allow them to believe that they're going to be able to go through life doing things and not knowing why they're doing them. Well, that's God. You ask somebody, "Why do you celebrate Thanksgiving?" And they'll say, "Well, you know, man, it's a day to get together with the family and be thankful and, you know, be thankful for all the things we got." And you say, "Well, damn, brother, aren't you thankful every day? Don't you thank God all the time for what He's done for you? Why do you wait till this one day, the fourth Thursday of the month of November every year, to tell your family what you're thankful for? Why do you wait until this day to go and have turkey and stuffing?" And they'll tell you, "Well, I don't know, man. It's just the day they gave us." You should not just be doing things because someone gave them to you and told you this is what you do. Ask somebody why they celebrate Christmas, and they'll say, "Well, you know, it's to honor the birth of God, of Jesus coming to flesh." And you'll say, "Well, where is that in the Bible? Can you show me in the Bible where Christmas is the celebration of Jesus coming to flesh?" And they'll, "No, you know, brother, no, that's what we were told. That's what we were taught." Well, brother, that's not what the Bible says. We're living in a time where the Lord is forcing us to have to mature, because just doing things and not knowing why you do them is not going to fly anymore. People that are doing things and don't know why they're doing them, they are going to die in this time. They are going to get sick in this time. They are going to be in darkness in this time. They are going to be lost and not knowing what's going on in the earth and what they're supposed to do, because they just decided to allow their life to be going with the flow. But the Lord is calling for some of us to mature. He's calling for some of us to grow up, calling for some of us to analyze this life and the things that we're doing and see if they are right or not. See if these decisions we're making have positive outcomes, or if they are the reason why we're dying, the reason why we're poor, the reason why we're suffering the way that we're suffering. That's what God requires. All right, this is Mark chapter 7. This is verse 6. Everybody says they love God, they love Jesus. Black people across this country are going to gather tomorrow, and they're going to say grace, and they're going to say what they're thankful for, and they're going to praise God and praise Jesus, and it'll be a wonderful day for them. And here's what the Bible says. Mark chapter 7, verse 6. Mark chapter 7, verse 6. He answered and said unto them, "Well has Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites. As it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me." Christians are the people who honor God with their lips, but their heart is far from Him. Your family who's going to gather at that Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, they are the people who honor God with their lips, but their heart is far from Him. If you are someone who wants to honor God, guess what? Then your mind, your heart has to be close to God. And how can your mind be close to God if you aren't reading and studying to understand how God is and what God requires? You cannot be like a child going through this life and please the Most High. In order to please the Most High, you've got to be someone who's doing the things He said to do. In order to please the Most High, you've got to know what it is that He wants, what it is that He desires. The people who are going to sit down tomorrow on Turkey Day and eat their turkey and their stuffing and their cranberry sauce, they don't know what God wants. They don't know what he requires. They don't even care because they're just going through life and doing whatever they're told to do. And God called them hypocrites. Verse 3, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Their worship of God is in vain. Think of all of the suffering that's going on right now. Think of all of the poverty, all of the hurt that our people are experiencing at this time. Think of all of the mental stresses and anguishes that they're experiencing. Coronavirus is going around, people losing their jobs left and right. And that's showing that knowing where, they're going to be able to pay their rent a month from now. All these things that we're going through and we're experiencing. And you have brothers and sisters who worship God in vain. Why is their worship of God in vain? Because they are too childish and immature to know what he wants. They are too childish and immature to know what's required of them. You understand? And because they're too childish and immature to know what God wants and to know what's required of them, the Lord does not hear their prayers. Most High does not bless them when they sit down with their turkey. He doesn't honor them holding hands and telling what they're thankful for, because the Most High requires more than that. You understand? Mark chapter 7, verse 8. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men. The people who are going to sit down tomorrow and celebrate Thanksgiving, you understand, they lay aside the commandment of God. They don't even care about what God said. Don't even have any knowledge of what God said. They put God to the side. Why? For the traditions of men. Think of how many things in this life God gets cast aside for. Thanksgiving is just one of them. You go tell your people, man, Thanksgiving is evil. It's about the celebration of the murder of the Native Indians, man. And it's not in the Bible. Leviticus 23 is where God's high holy days are. That's where you're supposed to go and keep the Passover, man, and keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And people just say, man, get out of here with all of that cult talk, man. Get out of here with all of that. Listen, man, it's just a turkey day. Why can't I get together with the family and just have some turkey and just be thankful? What's wrong with that? They lay aside the commandment of God for the traditions of men. Children are the ones, okay, keeping traditions isn't childish. Let me not say that. Keeping traditions isn't childish. But keeping traditions and not understanding why is childish. Doing anything in your life and not being able to answer for it is childish. It's just not a grown-up thing to do. You understand? Think of every other aspect of your life. You do something, you got to answer for it. You're at your job, you make decisions, you're going to have to answer for those decisions. You got children and you're raising them. You're going to have to answer for the way that you raise your children. Well, what in life can you do and not have an answer for? There's nothing except for serving the white man, except for celebrating your holidays, except for, the things that feel good. You can go get high. Why you get high? Oh, man, I just like to get high. What do you mean? There's a reason why you're getting high. It's something that make you want to feel good because something making you feel bad. But we don't answer for the reason why we do things in life, so we stay children. We stay immature. You're a sister out there that's just having sex with any old man. Ask a woman, why you? Okay, damn near, don't ask a woman, but think of you when you was in the world. You ask yourself, why you have sex with that woman? Why'd you go deal with her? Why did you, you a woman, why did you have sex with this brother? Why did you get down with him? Why did you get high? Why do you go buy, $40 of weed every Friday and then be complaining about how you ain't got no money at the end of every 2 weeks? When you ask someone why they do the things they do, a lot of our people are ill-equipped to answer those questions because they have a childish mentality. They live like children. They just do whatever comes to their mind. And that is the way that your oppressor wants you to live, so that when he comes around for Christmas, you'll just blindly go and keep Christmas. He come around with Thanksgiving, you'll blindly go and come with Thanksgiving. But to obey God, you can't just live any old way. Somebody asked me why I don't eat pork. I got an answer for that. I don't just say, well, I don't really like the way it tastes. Why you don't eat shrimp? I got an answer for that. Well, brother, why you don't want to go to the strip club? I got an answer for why I don't do that. Because I'm a man. I'm a grown man. Well, I don't see no woman naked that some other man gonna have sex with. That's dishonorable to me and to the woman and to the man she having sex with. I care about my people. That's why I wouldn't degrade my sisters by seeing them in no strip club. You understand, brother? The pork and the shrimp, the Lord said don't eat those things. You understand? That's why I don't eat them. Furthermore, they're bottom dwellers. They eat off the bottom of the oceans. They full of all diseases and bacteria. Hell, why would I don't eat cockroaches and spiders. I ain't gotta explain to you why I don't do that. But being in the truth, you have to mature. You have to grow up. You have to be able to answer for why you do things in your life. But when you're in America, you just being an American, you can be as immature and childish as you want. And just go through life and just, just do things because the Lord requires for us to be grown. He requires for us to mature. And staying asleep for a lot of brothers and sisters is easier because it doesn't require them to do as much work up here. Everybody understands? Mark 7:8, for laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups and many other such like things ye do. At this time, they were holding the washing of pots and cups. Today, the traditions of men is celebrating Thanksgiving. Traditions of men is celebrating Christmas. Traditions of men is, eating whatever you want to eat, having sex with whatever you want to have sex with, and all those things go against God. Reading verse 9. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition. And that is what these holidays are about. These holidays are about rejecting God and keeping their traditions, keeping America's traditions. Why? Because it's easier that way. It's easier to just keep the traditions because what does every person say when you tell them about the truth about Thanksgiving and the truth about Christmas? And they continue to do it. They continue to hold on to it. What is their excuse? Come on, sis.
For the family, this the only time they got off, the only day they get off to see their Christmas.
Hey, man, we got off work. Might as well have a Thanksgiving. Yeah. What are you doing for the kids, man? Whatever time the family gonna come together. They'll give you all of these, excuses when really they just don't want to serve the Lord. You understand? And okay, in their mind, it's not because they don't want to serve the Lord. In their mind, they're just doing what they were raised to do. But when confronted with the truth, the person who's immature, who doesn't want to grow up, they'll make any excuse to just continue doing what they were told to do. A lot of people don't want to take the responsibility of having to grow up, of having to mature. A lot of people don't want to take on the responsibility of having to explain why they do the things they do. For them, it's easier to just keep on doing what they've been doing. And that's what we have to realize is the spirit that's on our people. They are just doing the things that they were taught to do because, hey, that's easy. It's too much work for them to mature and to grow up. But the Lord called you to mature and to grow up. The Lord called us to be grown because you have to be an adult to serve the Lord. When I say an adult, I'm not talking about age, you understand? But you have to be someone who's mature in your mind, mature in your spirit, to be able to understand that there's some things in life that you have to be able to explain. Everybody understand? Let me drop that. Let me get Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5. All right. You know what I'm saying? All right, this is Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. That's what's going on with our people in this time. We celebrate Thanksgiving, celebrating Christmas. Why? Because we have, you understand, we transgressed the laws of the Most High, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. The Most High gave us high holy days. He gave us what to celebrate and how to live our lives. And we broke that to go do our own thing. And doing our own thing is just following whoever's in charge. You understand? And right now, the white man is in charge, and so we just follow him. A lot of brothers and sisters, they're not celebrating Christmas, and they're not celebrating Thanksgiving to be disrespectful to Native Indians. They're not celebrating Thanksgiving to be rebellious against God. They're doing it because that's just what they were told to do. You understand? But for those of us who have woken up, the Lord woke us up because we were not fit to be sheep like the rest of them. We weren't fit to just go through life just following the flow, going with whatever's trendy. The Lord called us to be individuals. He called us to wake up and to come out of that mentality of just going with the flow. He called us to do something which requires maturity, which requires growing up, which requires, studying and researching and understanding. This life it's more difficult, but it's more fulfilling. Everybody understands. Let me get just left my mind. Man, forgot what scripture I was going to pull just now. Let me get Proverbs chapter 1, verse 22. Proverbs 1:22. Man, I forgot the scripture that I just had in my mind. It's talking about maturing, growing up. The Lord requires us to grow up. I can't think of the scripture. Shalaki, y'all. Let's go to Proverbs 1:22. You got it, sis?
I'm sorry.
All right. Proverbs 1:22 says, "How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?" You understand? That's what celebrating Thanksgiving is about. That's what celebrating Christmas is about. It's about a simple-minded person loving simplicity. Say, hey, brother, why you celebrate Christmas, man? It's the birth of baby Jesus. Okay, where you learn that from? That's why I taught growing up. But did you ever read the Bible for yourself and see what the Bible said about Christmas? Nah, man, I ain't never, I never read the Bible. But what if I told you, brother, that in the Bible, celebrating Christmas was a sin against God? It's an evil thing. Oh, brother, well, man, I do it for the kids, man. Get the little gifts and get the little tree, man, and do it for the kids, man. Get them something to be excited about. But brother, it goes against God. It's evil to do that. Oh yeah, but man, hey man, I was raised doing it. It ain't hurting nobody. The little Christmas, man. That's their mindset.
Yeah.
How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? Why you celebrate Thanksgiving, brother? You know what Thanksgiving comes from? Nah, man. I know some Indians and some pilgrims got together, had a dinner, man, and we've been doing it ever since. Well, brother, that's not the truth about Thanksgiving. That's a lie. That's what they told you to, make you go out there and buy some turkey. The reality about Thanksgiving is that the white man was slaughtering Native Indians. And every time they killed a group of Native Indians, they would have a day of Thanksgiving. And they used to have about, 120 of them a year. So till, Andrew Wilson just said, all right, man, enough of all of these Thanksgiving days. We need one Thanksgiving day. And they made one day of Thanksgiving to celebrate the murder of the Native Indians. Oh man, for real, man. But man, it's me and my family, we just get together, man, have some turkey, say what we thankful for. I ain't know nothing about no Native Indians getting killed, but hey man, I just gonna get some turkey, man. Got a day off, watch some football. Right. But brother, that's you're participating in something evil. You're joining in the celebration of people. Right. Yeah, but we ain't doing that. That's not what my family doing. How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? You know what I'm saying? New Year's, Valentine's Day, the 4th of July, your birthday. How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? The Lord wants to know. How long are we going to be children? How long are we going to live our lives doing things just because that's what we was raised to do? That's what we was taught to do. I remember being a kid. My mother used to say, If your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? And I remember always thinking, hell no, that's goofy. Why would I jump off a bridge? Celebrating Christmas is jumping off a bridge. Celebrating Thanksgiving is jumping off a bridge. Going out and getting wasted for your birthday is like jumping just because everybody else doing it, you're supposed to do it. You can't serve God and live your life that way. You can't serve God and have that mentality. Serving God requires you to mature and to understand life and understand why you're doing the things you do. I said it earlier. If you ever, catch a child doing something, say, what you doing? Why you doing that? The child says, I don't know. Well, goddamn, we grown. We adults. We, 30, 40. Grandmothers are 70 in their 70s. Grandma, why you celebrate Thanksgiving? Oh, baby, I don't know. You don't know. Why you celebrate Christmas? You don't know. Well, you can't please God in that, no. Yeah. Serving God, nobody serves God on accident. Nobody obeys the Lord accidentally. Nobody's going to accidentally get into heaven. It's not going to be a brother in the ranks of the 144,000 who's going to accidentally get a crown. It's just not going to happen. To obey God, to serve God, you've got to be purposeful in what you're doing. You got to know and understand. You got to be mature. You got to be grown up to deal with God. And a lot of people, they're not grown up. Yeah, sure, they got age on them. They've been on the earth for some time, but they have not matured. And what we have got to realize is that there's going to be some of our people who will never mature. And then there's those of us who the Lord has called to grow the hell up. Everybody understand? Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. How many people have you known who took delight in telling you they were still going to celebrate Christmas? You try to share some knowledge with them. Try to enlighten them. Yeah, I hear you, brother, but I'm still going to get my Christmas gifts. Still going to take my kid, go get some clothes for my kids and put them under that tree. And it's, all right, brother, no problem. They got that Geico commercial. You save 15% by switching to Geico. Well, listen, I saved a whole ton of money by switching to serving the Lord. I ain't got to celebrate no Christmas. No Thanksgiving. I ain't got to go stress about getting no turkey and getting no dinner. Yeah. Guess what? I ain't got to stress about no Christmas gifts. It's the middle of coronavirus. People out there ain't got no money, living off of these government checks that they don't know when they're going to stop. And you're going to go blow $1,000 on Christmas gifts. You're going to blow $1,200 on some toys. Your kid's going to break up the next goddamn day for what? Then we wonder why we can't get out of the ghetto, why our neighborhoods can't improve, why we can't come together as a people because we're caught living childish. The black community is like, a lot of us live and treat this place like it's our bedroom we don't want to clean up. We wonder why it's trash in the streets and people just not caring because we live like children. Our mentality is like that of children. Just throw everything around and not care about nothing. Somebody will come clean it up. It's a childish mentality. You understand? And that part of it comes from our oppressor and the way we've been oppressed. But what we have to come to grips with is a lot of it is really us just not wanting to grow up, just not wanting to be responsible, not putting in the work that it takes in order to mature. Everybody understands? Verse Proverbs 1:23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. The Lord said he's tried to warn us, man. He's tried to wake us up. He's tried to correct us, and we just laugh in his face. Celebrating Thanksgiving is a laugh in God's face. Celebrating Christmas is a laugh in God's face. Not so much because it's, man, that's what I'm saying. Part of this class is understanding that brothers and sisters in the world, they're not doing these things in their lives to purposely disrespect God. They're not doing these things in their lives to purpose. A lot of things they're doing it to purposely be evil. Some of it we just don't know. We're just doing whatever we're told to do, right? It doesn't change the fact that it's disrespectful to the Lord. The Most High does not care about your intentions. He doesn't care about where your heart is. That's a lie. That's another childish concept. It's immature to hurt someone and to say, I didn't mean to hurt you. That doesn't count for anything. If you do something and you hurt me, you hurt me. You should apologize. But a lot of us live with the idea that, well, I wasn't trying to hurt you. So doesn't that make it okay? Or doesn't that let me off the hook? No, it doesn't let you off the hook. No, it doesn't make it okay. You trying not to hurt somebody it means nothing if you hurt them. Everybody understands? Disrespecting the Lord is disrespecting the Lord. It doesn't matter if you wasn't trying to disrespect him. We teach the truth to get our people to stop disrespecting the Lord. Why? Because disrespecting the Lord is what gets us killed. Disrespecting the Lord is what ends us up in these situations. We've tried to warn our people for years about Christmas, about Thanksgiving. They don't want to listen. Every year stories come out about murders, on Christmas Eve. All of the theft and the stealing that happens on Christmas so that people can have money to get them gifts. All of the dope that's sold so that a cat can make money to go put some shoes underneath that tree. All the evil that we do in the name of celebrating something that ain't even from God. Something that disrespects God. Right now, we're in the midst of coronavirus. COVID-19 is going crazy. And there are people out there who are still going to gather and hold hands and sit around that table. And the Lord is going to kill somebody's grandmother and grandfather and somebody's niece and nephew and somebody's cousin and somebody's auntie, somebody's uncle, because they don't want to obey the Lord, because they don't want to mature and take life seriously. We don't teach these classes in vain. These classes are a warning of trouble from God, a warning that the Lord is serious and he takes life serious, and so should you. But too many of our people, they don't want to take life seriously. They don't want to see, the necessity in growing up and maturing. So the Lord got to deal with them. The Lord said he will laugh at your calamity and mock when your fear cometh. Think of all of the parents that stress over Christmas. Pray for a bonus from their job. Pray for some extra money for this and that. God laughs at your stress over Christmas. He laughs at it. Your bills become due on the 1st of January. You ain't got no money because you poured it all into Christmas. God laughs at that brokenness. Laughs at that mad dash and scramble for cash that you have at the beginning of every fiscal year because you just let Christmas set you back $700. God said he will laugh and mock when your fear cometh. COVID-19 is here now, and God is laughing at a lot of people because a lot of people did not want to take their lives and serving the Most High seriously. Everybody understands? We could drop that. Let me get let me get Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. If any brothers or sisters have any questions, y'all can come with them as well, all right? We got a couple of them. Come, I will get to it after I get this scripture in Colossians. All right, Colossians chapter 2, verse 8 says, beware, meaning what? Be careful. Be watchful. Beware. You understand? Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. There was a warning in the Bible to beware. You understand? Beware for some man trying to spoil you. What does it mean to spoil someone? What does it mean to spoil someone?
So,
Come on, sis.
to ruin.
To ruin someone. To take away the good things they have. You understand? To cause them to go bad. This is spoiled. The Lord said, beware unless someone destroy you, someone steal, you know what I'm saying, steal your value, unless someone cause you, you understand, to take from you. How? Through philosophy and vain deceit. Because of not obeying the Lord, we have been spoiled through philosophy and vain deceit. Philosophy and vain deceit is what Christmas is. Philosophy and vain deceit is what Thanksgiving is. Philosophy and vain deceit is the 4th of July. Literally, all of these holidays in America are derived from philosophy and vain deceit. You ask someone, why you celebrate Thanksgiving? Well, you know, the Pilgrims and the Europeans got together, man, and they had a dinner. That's philosophy and vain deceit. That is not real at all. That is not what Thanksgiving is about in the slightest. It literally is philosophy and vain deceit. Why do you celebrate Christmas? On the birth of baby Jesus. That literally is philosophy and vain deceit. Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. The Bible never said to celebrate his birthday. Putting gifts under a tree comes from the worship of a Babylonian god named Nimrod, and Jeremiah 10 speaks against it 300, 500 years before Christ was on the earth. So again, why are you celebrating Christmas? Philosophy and vain deceit. 4th of July, celebration of the freedom of America, all men created equal, the goddamn Declaration of Independence. Black people were slaves on that day in cotton fields. Why the hell are niggas celebrating the 4th of July? Philosophy and vain deceit. And what does that philosophy and vain deceit do to us? It causes us to be destroyed. We are destroyed because of Christmas. We are destroyed because of Thanksgiving. We are destroyed because of the 4th of July. Destroyed because of celebrating New Year's in the dead of winter. All these things we do, we're destroyed because of them. Think of the people who are going to die this Christmas. Think of the people who are going to die this Thanksgiving. Think of all of the fighting and the shooting that's going to take place on Black Friday. Think of all the sickness that Black Friday gonna cause. Now, this is how you know that we're living in a time where people don't take nothing seriously. It's coronavirus, right? Yeah. People dying because they being too close to each other. Mm. Well, I just got the Walmart brochure in my mail today. They got 80-inch TVs for like $425. You think people not gonna be in line at 4 a.m. outside of Walmart ready to bum rush the doors? In the middle of coronavirus where you're telling everybody to wear masks? Yeah. So everybody gonna wear masks and go into Walmart, and they not gonna riot. Right. They're not gonna steal the TVs and fight over the PlayStation 5s. You're playing yourself if you think that's not about to happen. And why? Because people are immature. You ask somebody, you go to somebody standing in the Black Friday line tomorrow and say, what are you doing out here? I'm coming to get one of those TVs. Aren't you scared of coronavirus? I mean, I don't know. Children. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They're just doing it because I gotta get one of those TVs. I gotta have one. And that's a lot of our lives. It's just impulse. It's just we're reacting to things constantly reacting. And that is because of philosophy and vain deceit. That's someone who's spoiled, you understand? And God called for us to live our lives much greater than that. Your life has got to be about more than just catching the Black Friday sale. Your life has got to be about more than just turkey dinner because the white man said turkey dinner. What happened to all of the recalls of the bad meat that was coming out of these factories with all these COVID-19 workers? God damn, you mean so all of these turkeys is good? All these turkeys ain't no coronavirus in none of these turkey factories. You understand?
Right.
Like we living in a ridiculous time, and people are in their stupidity, in their simplicity, being destroyed through philosophy and vain deceit. Everybody understand? I'm gonna drop off it for a second to answer your question, but I'm gonna come back to the other scriptures. Come on with it.
I want to break down it was Bill the Dragon, I think, verse 36. Yeah. History of Bel and the Dragon.
All right, so this is in the Apocrypha, History of Bel and the Dragon. Go ahead.
Verse 36.
All right, let me get it. All right, let me see.
Just the way I read it, I know it ain't. I don't know. I know it ain't.
All right, come on with it. He said Bel and the Dragon. Just verse 36. Because Bel and the Dragon just one chapter, right?
All
right. This is Bel and the Dragon in the Apocrypha, verse 36. It says, Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hairs of his head, and through the vehemence of his spirit set him in Babylon over the dead. Right? What was your question on that?
I just need a breakdown on it. It didn't say in a few verses above, it didn't say that an angel came to Habakkuk. It said that the Lord said to him, I don't know, I don't know. I just wanted to know. I don't know if I was reading it wrong or not. Did the Most High, I ain't gonna say speak to him because I don't want to sound Christian, but it said the Spirit of the Lord led him to Daniel, and I just want to know how, because it didn't say that the angel came to him.
I got you. Okay, the Spirit of the Lord leading someone and an angel appearing are two different things.
Okay.
The Spirit of the Lord leading someone is it's inside of you. It's your thoughts. It's the Lord is you're being drawn to something. You understand? So the Bible, there's no coincidences in the Bible. There is no, oh man, I just happened to be here. Okay. The Spirit of the Lord led me here. Okay. It's damn near like the story of me when my first day seeing a UPK camp, right? I got laid off from my job on a Thursday. I got laid off and I went to go pay my rent. Like, no, matter of fact, I think it was the day I got laid off on a Friday. First thing in the morning on a Friday, I got laid off from work. And I left from being laid off and I took the little bit of money I had. I went to go pay my cell phone bill. Well, the place I went to go pay my cell phone bill was downtown in DC. And because I was never off on a Friday, I just decided, well, shit, I'm off today. Let me go ahead and go downtown and pay my bill down there. I go downtown to go pay my cell phone bill, and the camp where the brothers was teaching was right there by where the cell phone place was. I went to go pay my cell phone bill. I get out the car, I see them out there teaching, loudspeaker, dressed all funny and 666 on Jesus. I'm like, the hell, these niggas. Now I walk by, I see what they saying and shit. I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I go pay my cell phone bill. I come out, I stop and I listen. Hear what they saying, and I go to the table, I get a flyer, and look at the flyer, and I'm like, hey, y'all, because I had months prior to that, I had seen a little Israelite video about the curses, Deuteronomy 28. I'm like, hey, man, y'all the brothers that teaching about the 12 tribes, like Deuteronomy 28. And brother was like, yeah, that's us, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, I've been looking for y'all forever, man. This that. Sit out there for about an hour watching the camp. Sit out there, got the flies and everything. Went home that day like, man, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is the place where I've been searching for. Well, goddamn, if I was to tell that story to somebody and the scribe was to record it, they wouldn't say I got fired from my job and went to pay my cell phone bill. They would say the Spirit of the Lord led me to the camp of the men of the Lord. I wasn't aware of it. It wasn't no voice saying, go downtown and find me. It wasn't like that. It was something said, hey, go downtown. Go downtown, man, pay my cell phone bill. Hell, I'm off on a Friday. I ain't been off on a Friday forever. I remember it like it was yesterday. Because I never would go downtown to pay my cell phone bill there. I went downtown to pay my cell phone bill, and that's how I found out that the ISUPK was in Washington, D.C. And seeing the camp, if I had never got fired, if I had never got laid off, and never had that Friday off, I could have went and paid my cell phone bill on a Monday. Could have went and paid it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. It happened on a Friday. That wasn't no coincidence. I was led by the Spirit of the Lord to go downtown to find the camp. You understand what I'm saying? But it wasn't ooky spooky. It wasn't Kevin, you know what I'm saying? Kevin, go downtown and find the Lord. It wasn't that. It was just go pay my cell phone bill. But with this brother, it was, I'm gonna go check Daniel out. Go see what's up with Daniel, man. I'm gonna go over there and holler at Daniel. It wasn't, Habakkuk, go see the prophet Daniel. I have a message for you. It wasn't that. It was, I'm gonna go check on Daniel. And he gets there, and Daniel's in the midst of something, and then an angel appears. And an angel is there in the room, and it's the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord brought me to Daniel today.
Okay. He is in I think in the verse before he said he spoke like I didn't, like he basically was saying, I don't know where Babylon is. I never set foot in Babylon, nor do I know where the den is. So is he talking like in his mind? You know what I'm saying? Is it like a mental conversation or something?
Okay, so you gotta show me where it is. All right.
Okay, so I want to break down on verse 3 in 36 and 35. He was saying, Lord, I never saw Babylon, nor do I know where the den is. He was
okay. If you read verse 34, it says, but the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk. So this is an angel speaking to Habakkuk. You understand?
Okay, so this was an actual angel talking to him?
Yes, this was an angel. It was almost a vision. And that's different than the Spirit of the Lord carrying you. All right, so let's read it so we can get some understanding. All right. Matter of fact, let me see. Okay, so this goes into the story of Daniel in the lion's den, which I covered. I want to say last week's class. I talked about Daniel in the lion's den, right? And when I spoke about Daniel in the lion's den, I said that Daniel was cast into that lion's den. When I was a child and I heard the story of Daniel in the lion's den, I always imagined some magic that kept the lions from eating Daniel. Meaning Daniel's in his lion's den, but these lions' mouths are shut. The lions is in there. They want to eat them, but they can't because God is keeping their jaws closed. That's how I imagined it. That's not what happened. Daniel was put into a pit with a bunch of lions, and them lions was in there hungry and growling, but Daniel was not food to them. Daniel was just something else in the pit with them. They in the pit, they looking at Daniel, Daniel looking at them, they looking at Daniel. Hey, nigga, we ain't here together. But it wasn't like some magical force stopped these lions from eating Daniel. Daniel knew the Lord is with me, man. I'm the Lord with me. I ain't worried about these lions. Doesn't mean he wasn't afraid, but Daniel knew if I get eaten by these lions, it's the Lord's will. If I don't get eaten by these lions, it's the Lord's will. But Daniel wasn't in that lion's den trying to find a stick or a sword to fight the lions. He in there like, listen, man, I'm serving the Lord. Serving the Lord got me in this lion's den, and standing with the Lord is going to get me out. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't magic. It wasn't they threw Daniel in the lion's den and the lions wanted to eat him, and there's some magic force field that's keeping the lions away from Daniel. It wasn't that. This is a real life pit with lions who hungry, and usually they drop anything in that pit. The lions eat it. They drop Daniel in there. The lions sniff Daniel, look at him, and go about their business. Go curl up and purr and growl and do what lions do. Daniel could have got dropped in that pit and went crazy. And, oh my God, screaming and crying. Daniel went in that pit and prayed and found a spot in there to stay out the lion's way. And he's in there, the lion's in there, Daniel's not getting eaten up. Everybody understands, right? So this Bell and the Dragon is speaking about, what we're about to read is speaking about when Daniel was put into the lion's den, all right? So this is Bell and the Dragon. This is in the Apocrypha as well, one of the 14 books that were taken out by the Protestant Reformation. If you get you a 1611 King James, Bell and the Dragon is in there. They took it out in later editions of the King James Bible because the Protestant church did not want black people reading about the way that the Greeks converted the Israelites, because that involved them having their backs whipped, being put in slavery, having their names taken, and being forced to learn another people's language. The Protestant church did not want niggas in the South in America reading about what they lived happening thousands of years ago with the children of Israel. Everybody understands? So Bell and the Dragon is one of those books that got taken out. So we in Bell and the Dragon, verse 28. All right. It says, when they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying, the king is become a Jew, and he have destroyed Baal. He have slain the dragon and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, deliver us Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thine house. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them to the intent they might devour Daniel. Now there was in Jury a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go, carry the dinner that thou hast unto Babylon, unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemence of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take this dinner which the Most High has sent thee. And Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O God, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. And Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. Upon the 7th day, the king went to bewail Daniel, and when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, great art thou, O Lord God of Daniel, and there is none other besides thee. And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face. You understand? Okay, so the way it reads, Daniel went into the lion's den. He was there for a few days. The angel of the Lord came to Habakkuk has prepared food for the men working in the fields. The reapers are the men who cutting down, picking the corn, picking the cotton, picking the watermelons. They are reaping the harvest. There's fruit out there. They're gathering it. Habakkuk had broke bread and made food for these men. Angel of the Lord came and said, take that food to Daniel. Habakkuk said, I never been to Babylon. I've never been to the den. I don't know where that is. Then the angel picked Habakkuk up and carried him there to the den, right? Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that Habakkuk got flown to the lions? That's what we all would think, right, that Habakkuk got flown to the lion's den. Habakkuk did not get flown to the lion's den. Habakkuk traveled there, but in his mind, it was like he had been lifted up and carried in the spirit, because he went to a place that he didn't know where it was. It would be just like me. I'll give you a story. There's a brother in the school down here in Mississippi named Zion, right? And Zion told me a story of how he was in the world, but had found out about the UPK and was listening to classes. And he told the story of how he kept hearing ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And that's all he knew was 121 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Him that knowing, he got a bus ticket to Harlem, New York.
Damn.
From, Columbus, Mississippi,
Yeah.
and went to 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. He just showed up at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, seeing that it was an Applebee's, and was like, well, what the hell is going on? Then he saw the classes and got the number for New York school and called the brothers, and then they told him to come to class. Well, that's the way that Zion got up and just took a bus to Harlem, New York. Habakkuk found a traveler, a ride, or got a horse and went to Babylon. He went to Babylon and got there and like, where this lion's den is? I heard there's a lion's den out here. Anybody know the lion's den? Oh yeah, we go feed people to the lions over there. And he went to the lion's den and found Daniel. In Habakkuk's mind, it was like an angel picked him up and carried him there. But an angel didn't lift him up and carry him there. Okay. But it happened. It wasn't. Habakkuk never been to Babylon. He don't know he don't know where the lion's den is in Babylon. But an angel said, "Get to the lion's den in Babylon and feed Daniel." So he got to the lion's den in Babylon and fed Daniel. Everybody understands. And after it was done, he left. He went and fed Daniel, and then left and went right back to wherever the hell he came from. So it's in Habakkuk's mind, the Lord carried me to Babylon and brought me back. Because he did it. He just went and did it. He didn't think about it, wasn't wondering, wasn't unsure of what to do. He went and did it. He did it and came back. Okay. Everybody understands? All right. Now, in order for you now, I understand this because I've been taught, because I've had these broken down on me before. Don't ever assume anything. If you're unsure about something, brothers and sisters should ask like you did today. You know what I'm saying? But the angel of the Lord spoke with Habakkuk. So it wasn't just him. It wasn't random. It was, Habakkuk was a man who was trained in the priesthood, who was raised up to be a prophet. So he understood hearing the voice of the Lord. And hearing the voice of the Lord is different than hearing your thoughts. A lot of brothers and sisters don't understand that hearing the voice of the Lord is not, just you having a thought or you having a feeling. Hearing the voice of the Lord is hearing the voice of the Lord. Everybody understands? There were schools during this time that were set up to teach men how to hear the voice of the Lord. That if the Lord calls on you, this is what it'll be like. And men would have to train to live the life of a man who the Lord would talk to. That's why they had schools with Daniel, Habakkuk, Elijah, Jeremiah. All these brothers were raised in schools together the same way we are raised in the UPK today. Obadiah, Ezra, all these brothers were in schools together, in classes together. Parents gave them to the priest at a young age. I want my son to be a prophet. And they were raised in the work of the Lord to understand when the Most High was speaking to them. Everybody understands? So it's a lot that goes into understanding the difference between an angel of the Lord speaking or being led by the Spirit or being carried away in the Spirit, like we just read with Habakkuk. Habakkuk being carried away in the Spirit, the angel of the Lord said, get to Babylon, find a lion's den, feed Daniel. Habakkuk went and got to Babylon, got to that lion's den and fed Daniel, but it wasn't like something he planned out or something he knew to do or something he didn't get word from somebody. Hey man, they got Daniel in the lion's den. An angel of the Lord told him that. He heard a voice of the Lord saying, Daniel's in danger, get to Babylon, feed him in the lion's den. And he understood it was the voice of the Lord. He responded, oh, why am I going to Babylon? Why is the Lord telling me to go to Babylon? I ain't never been to Babylon. I don't know where the lion's den is at. Then something kicked in, man. Let me just go ahead and get to Babylon. He got there, found the den, fed Daniel, and he got back home. You know what I'm saying? The same way that Zion got on the bus to 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The same way that I went to pay my cell phone bill and saw the camp. It wasn't magic. It was just the Lord was. I didn't know it was the Lord. I just went to go pay my cell phone bill, but it was the Lord sending me to go find the truth. Zion ain't know what he just wanted to find the man of God. He just all he knew was 1 West 125th Street. Ended up in Harlem, and he found the school and got into the classes up there. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it happens. Everybody says. All right, no sweat. You good on that? All right. Any other questions? No sweat. Anybody else have any questions online? All right, if we don't have any questions, let me go ahead. I believe the sister Anisha asked, how did all these holidays start anyway? Well, I got a class on the history of Thanksgiving. I'll post it in here when the class is over. I'll post the link for the Thanksgiving breakdown. Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of these holidays come from either the celebration of the slaughter of our people or the worship of gods from ancient times. You understand? Like Christmas is about the worship of a god from ancient times. When I mean ancient, I mean before Christ was on the earth, over 2,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? All right. David Haywood, I see you. What city you from, David Haywood? Let me know, all right? Continuing on with the breakdown of growing up and not being childish anymore. Celebrating Thanksgiving is a childish thing. We do it because we don't know. We don't do it because we're purposely pissing off the Most High. We don't do it because we love the worship of Nimrod, or we love the celebration of the murder of the Native Indians. We celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas because it's just what we was told to do. Because we're just like children and we do things and don't know why we're doing them. Well, in order to serve the Lord, you have got to know what you're doing. Serving the Lord is something that somebody does purposefully. You don't accidentally serve the Lord. You understand? You don't accidentally not celebrate Christmas. Somebody asks you why you don't celebrate Christmas, you know why you don't celebrate it. But go ask someone who does celebrate it. They don't know. Everybody understand? And so the Lord, in order for us to please the Most High, we have got to be purposeful in how we live our lives. We can't be out here doing things and not knowing why we do them. All right. Let me see something. Give me Luke chapter 23. Luke chapter 23 and hold on. I'm gonna drop that. I didn't pull that one. Y'all gotta bear with me. I had these scriptures lined up, man. Salaki, y'all bear with me, man. Salaki. Let me get Jeremiah chapter 7. You get Jeremiah 7 and 25. All right. 25. This ain't the scripture I wanted. I had some scriptures lined up. You know what I'm saying? And I got thrown off, man. So I lost. I lost all the scriptures I had lined up for this class. So let me go ahead. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse you get 22. Jeremiah 7 and 22. All right. This is the Lord. This is Jeremiah, the Most High speaking to Jeremiah to the children of Israel. It says, For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing commanded I them, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people. And walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. Lord is saying, when I started out, I didn't give them a bunch. I didn't tell them to give me no burnt offerings or sacrifices. All I told them was to obey. You understand? That's what the Lord requires, is obedience. The Lord doesn't require a bunch of burnt offerings and a bunch of ram's blood. You understand? Or sacrifices. He requires obedience. Verse 24. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. Verse 25, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. The Lord said, from that time until now, I've sent prophets among you to warn you and to teach you. Verse 27, verse 26, yet they hearkened not unto me, nor inclined their ear, but hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Verse 27, therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to thee. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer. Verse 28, but thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Lord their God, nor receives correction. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth. Cut off thine hair, O Jerusalem, and cast it away, and take up a lamentation on high places, for the Lord has rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath. For the children of Judah have done evil in my sight, saith the Lord. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name, to pollute it. And they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it unto my heart. Verse 32, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter, for they shall bury in Tophet till there be no more place. And the carcasses of this people shall be meat for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth, and none shall fray them away. Then will I cause to cease from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for the land shall be desolate. What we read there is the Lord, because the Lord laying out to us why he had to punish us, why he had to destroy us, because we just refused to obey. You understand? And regardless of whether we're doing it maliciously or not, refusing to obey results in punishment. Like I said, there's a lot of brothers and sisters who celebrate Thanksgiving because it's just tradition. Celebrate Christmas because this is just what they were raised to do. God doesn't care why you do it. He cares about what you're doing. God isn't partial to, well, you know, I sinned because I was raised that way. I sinned because that's what I was taught. God doesn't hear that. All God understands is right and wrong. All the gray area, all the in-between of how you got there, he don't want to hear it. Everybody understands? So the reason why we warn our people against celebrating Thanksgiving, against celebrating Christmas, is because we understand the consequences that come from those things. The Lord's punishment is real, and the Lord's punishment is not, you know, a light thing. It's not a light thing to disrespect the Lord. It's not a light thing to be on the wrong side of the Father. You understand? Go ahead.
So what so when the Most High said he'll wink at your ignorance, what does that mean? Like, I mean, and how, like when you said Most High don't care, how, or if you're doing it intentionally or not, basically you still sin. So what, how is that, why does he say that then? Like, I'll wink at your ignorance if you know, if you don't care.
Well, okay, the winking at your ignorance is once you wake up. You live your life and never wake up, then there's nothing for the Lord to wink at. You just was an evil bastard your whole life. The Lord gives all of us chances to see that he's real. Just think about, I've known tons of cats who was in the streets and, you know, the Lord was with them. They'd always leave the block before, you know, the feds came through. Always leave the trap house before it got raided. Always leave the club before the shots rang out. Like, there's brothers I know who lived extraordinary lives that the Lord was with them. It was obvious. But they never stopped to consider it. They understood, hey man, I was lucky, man. I made it up out of there. Yeah, man. Somebody looking out for me. But they never took it to heart. They never went and actually went to search and find out, why am I the one who always is safe? If they could have found out, the Lord could have winked at their ignorance. They would have came into the truth and changed their lives. The Lord could have said, all them times I had to warn you to get you out of danger, I forgive you for that. Okay. But if you never change your life, never come into the truth, you just an evil bastard. Okay. And eventually those warnings the Lord giving you, it'll run out because his long suffering will run out. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Let me get on. Oh, man. I'm thinking a small thing. Let me get hold on. All right, let me get bear with me, Trying to find, hold on, bear with me, y'all. Look at Jeremiah chapter 15. Hold up. Jeremiah 15. Let's get Jeremiah 15. No, that's not either. That's not it either. That's neither. So lock it, y'all. My mind's on, bro. Y'all gotta bear with me, man. Any other questions? Any brothers just got any questions? Y'all come on with them. Trying to get the scriptures, man. Had lined up. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the feast breakdown. You know what I'm saying? Give me Amos or Hosea 5:21. Get Hosea 5:21. This is how the Most High feels about these feast days. This is how he feels about Thanksgiving and about Christmas and all these other days that we're celebrating. And again, if we matured as a people, if we understood what it is that if we set our minds to understand the seriousness of life, we would set our minds to understanding God and what he expects from us. Because we have not been taught or raised or birthed in this society to be responsible, to take life seriously, we treat the Most High as if everything that he says is a joke. We treat the things that we do as if they're nothing. Evidenced by us, by so many things that brothers and sisters do, they have no answers for. And again, you cannot live your life and not have answers for the things you do. The Most High doesn't want us living our lives that way. He requires that we have an answer. He requires that we have understanding. He requires us to mature to be able to be held accountable for the things that we do. All right. Amos chapter 5, verse 21 says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. The Lord said he hate and despise our feast days. You understand why he call them your feast days? Because Thanksgiving isn't something that comes from the Lord. Christmas isn't something that comes from the Lord. The 4th of July is not something that comes from the Lord. All of these things, those are our feast days. Feast days that we get from our oppressor, even worse yet. But they are not things that come from the Lord. You understand? Mosiah said he will not smell in our solemn assemblies. Brothers and sisters, going to gather tomorrow, hold hands and say prayers, not knowing that God is not hearing them, not knowing that the Lord doesn't give a damn about them gathering, doesn't give a damn about that dinner, doesn't give a damn about the disrespect, doesn't give a damn because the very act is disrespect unto him. Everybody understands? Reading on, the Lord said, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meal offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. The Lord said, you can go in there and cook that food, and that food gonna be smelling good, and you're gonna think it's heavenly in that room. You're gonna think God must have, loved us when he gave us this, not knowing that the Lord ain't gonna smell none of it. He's gonna be so far away from you celebrating that Thanksgiving. You understand? You're gonna pray and wish the Lord was with you in that day. You understand? Let me get let's get Proverbs 28:3. Proverbs 28:3 goes into back what I was saying, particularly speaking about the sister's question with Baal and the dragon. You understand? The Lord doesn't hear your prayers on accident. In order for the Lord to hear your prayers, you got to be someone who's working for your prayers to be heard. Proverbs 28:8 or 28:9 says, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. And Most High said, if you turn away your ear from hearing his law, then your prayer is an abomination. Your prayer is evil and wicked. Everybody understands? How can you go and sit down and Thanksgiving and pray and think the Lord is with you? How can you sit down at Thanksgiving and pray and think that the Most High is hearing those prayers? The Bible says that the prayers of the wicked are abomination unto the Most High. You're someone who's sinning and you're not obeying the Most High, you're not doing what he said to do, then guess what? He's not hearing your prayers. He's not giving a damn about what you're doing and what you got going on. And that is why there's so much violence on these holidays. That is why there's so much death and destruction on these holidays, because instead of us separating from our oppressor and joining ourselves, you understand, together, we're going to die because so many of us constantly choose the oppressor over the Lord time and time again. Everybody understands? Let me get Let Prayer of our nation. Man. Just praise and abomination. Read one more time. Proverbs 28 and 9. 28 and 9. It says, "He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination." You understand? You turn away your ear from hearing the Most High's words, Lord ain't gonna hear your prayers. You understand? You gathering, you eating that food, eating that dinner, the Lord is not partaking in any of that. Everybody understands. Let me get give me Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 20, Ezekiel 3, I want to say 18. Ezekiel 3 and 18. Ezekiel 3 and 18 says, "When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt," well, matter of fact, Ezekiel 3 and 17 says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, and his blood will I require at thine hand. But if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul." We speak these things because the Lord requires that the word goes out. The Lord requires that our people get the warning that he is not satisfied with the evil of these holidays. He is not satisfied with the evil of celebrating what the oppressor told us to celebrate. Everybody understands? Verse 19, verse 18, "When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul." Everybody understand? So we got to speak these words because the Lord requires them to be spoken. We have got to wake our people, speak to wake our people up, because the Lord requires for them to wake up. But if they wake up or they don't, it's in the Lord's hands. Those of us who have woken up know that the Most High desires for you to live your life seriously and purposefully. Lord does not desire for you to be out here doing things and not knowing why you're doing it. Everybody understands? People who celebrate Christmas, celebrate Thanksgiving, they are doing things that they don't know what they do. And that is not what the Lord has called us to do. The Lord has called us to have knowledge, have understanding, seek wisdom, seek to serve the Most High so that he can bless us. We be his people and he be our God. Everybody understand? And with that, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, straight out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters when you come into the school. Off limits for 6 months. They're here to be saluted only. Here to share themselves with the world. They be to be saluted only. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have a particular interest in a person, they can seek permission from the heads to courtship, what develops into a marriage after another 6 months. All right. Tithes, which is a commandment, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the school. Upcoming holy convocations, December 10th through the 13th. We're going to be in Las Vegas. So you brothers and sisters on that Pacific Coast, man, if you're able to make it out to Vegas, you know what I'm saying, be watching to see if the school make any changes. But as of right now, the Vegas trip is still on. You want to be a troop in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, Imajim, Mr. Stand. Again, one courtesy salute, men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Barak Thumbs, the Most High watch, bless you in the name of Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Matah, Sar, turn face and sisters, men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shemal, Thun, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.